There is a voice you use with your mother. It is not the voice you use with the person you love most, and you have never once had to choose between them. They arrive on their own. Different room, different you, and no effort anywhere. Welcome to the Curator's Atelier. I keep the things worth remembering, the strange, the buried, the true. Tonight's a glass of water, and the question of why you are a slightly different person with everyone you love. Come closer. Let me show you. This is the plainest thing on these shelves. No inscription, nothing anyone would stop to look at. I keep it for something done to it once, which cannot be undone, and which you cannot see by looking. Watch. 3 rooms, 1 evening, the same man. A bar, and a friend from 15 years ago. Something old comes back into the voice. Louder, quicker. A sense of humor retired years ago and never formally buried. A kitchen and a parent. He gets younger, smaller words. An old argument waits under the table where it always waits, and both of them step over it. The way you step over a stair you know is loose. A doorway, late, and the person he loves. Quieter here, slower. He says the thing he actually thinks, first try, without the run-up he needs everywhere else. 3 different men, 1 evening, none of them lying. The easy answer is masks. A work self, a family self, a with her self. Costume changes over the real face, and the real face is the one you wear alone. But that answer is too small, and you can feel where it fails. A mask sits on something. It needs a face underneath that holds its shape all evening. What researchers found instead was that the boundary itself moves. That who you are is assembled partly out of the person in front of you and reassembled when they leave. Not a costume over a self with someone else's edges in it. Hold the glass. Look into it. Stop thinking of yourself as a point. Think of yourself as ground. A pool of light and you in the middle of it. Everything the light falls on is you. Your habits, your opinions, the things you would say under oath. The edge is where you stop and the world starts. You have never measured that edge. You assume it is where it has always been. It is not, and it can be caught moving. Here's how you catch it. You sit someone down with a long list of traits and one instruction. Me or not me? Press as fast as you can. Generous, me. Impatient, me. Reckless, not me. People are quick at it. Then you salt the list with traits where the person and someone else differ, sometimes a stranger, sometimes the person closest to them in the world. Stranger mismatches came back fast. Not me, no trouble at all. But when the mismatch belonged to someone close, the answer came back slower. Milliseconds. Not a pause you could see across a table, but it was there, and it was consistent. Rejecting a trait as not me is harder when it belongs to someone you love. Some of them is filed in with you, and the sorting takes longer because the drawer is shared. Where you end and they begin is not a wall. It is a hesitation, and it can be timed. So the edge is soft. Whether it ever moves takes a different study, one that catches someone in the act. 329 students, first term, the season when people fall in love on schedule. 5 times across 10 weeks, the same small task. Who are you today? Just list it. Most lists stayed roughly the same week after week. The ones who fell in love had more to write. Not simply more words, more kinds of thing, categories that had not been on the page in week 1. A second study, 529 of them, found self-efficacy and self-esteem rose over the same stretch. And yes, they checked whether it was only the good mood. It was not only the good mood. Something had gone into the water. The pool was bigger than in September, and a color it had not started as. Now, before this becomes something it isn't, look at who was measured. Undergraduates, nearly all. Short relationships, a lab, a list, a stopwatch. Nobody has run this on a 40-year marriage, and nobody assigns people to fall in love. These are lives watched carefully as they happened, which is honest work and is not the same as proof. The effects are modest. Slightly different person. The word slightly is doing real work there, and I am not going to quietly drop it. So, not a hidden self, not a cure, not a thing to do about your marriage on a Thursday. A mechanism, small, measurable, running in you right now. That is all it is. Anyone selling you more than that is selling. You have proof of your own, and it is better than a stopwatch. Someone you have not seen in years, and 40 minutes in, you hear yourself laugh in a register you have not used since a house you no longer live in. Words come back. Timing comes back. A whole way of being funny you did not know was still installed. You did not decide to do that. It arrived with them. And on the way home there is that odd flatness, and it is not the evening ending. It is that you were briefly someone you have not been in a decade, and you liked him, and he does not exist in any other room. He did not die. He simply has nowhere to happen. Which brings us to the part that hurts. If a person can enlarge you, then losing them is not only losing them. Researchers went at this 3 ways. Twice by asking about relationships recently ended, memory, which is imperfect, and I will not pretend otherwise. Once in a laboratory, prompting the state directly. Same answer each time. The more a relationship had expanded someone, the more their sense of who they were contracted after it ended. And here is the careful part. That held even comparing relationships that had been equally close. So it is not simply that you loved them, it is that you grew in there. And the pool is smaller afterward than the day before you met, because some of what was in it was only reachable in their company. You do not only lose them, you lose the person you only were in front of them. One thing they measured, precisely, the self as it is currently in reach. What is loud in you this month? Not a verdict on the rest of your life. Nobody measured that, and I will not hand you a sentence the evidence never wrote. And then the other half, which almost nobody quotes, and which is why I set tonight's glass out. 155 people, each within 6 months of an ending, asked what the relationship had been and what they had been since. Some had grown, not endured, grown. And the growth showed up most where the relationship had been low in expansion, the ones that had not been enlarging anybody. What those people described was not losing a self, it was finding one they had put down somewhere. Understand what I am and am not saying. I am not telling you to leave anything. This is people describing their own endings afterward, not an instruction, and no verdict that a quiet relationship was worthless. It means this: not every loss shrinks you. So the ache is not the measure of your mistake. It is the measure of what you were given. The ones that hollow you out are the ones that had been growing you. I said something had been done to this glass that could not be undone. It was clear once. Someone put a single drop of color into it years ago, and that drop has never come back out. And it was not one drop. It was everyone who ever stood close enough to lean over the rim. Look at it now. It is none of the colors that went in. It is the one they made together, and no drop could have reached it alone. You will want to know how to get the water clear again. You cannot. That was never the damage. I'll keep it here with the things worth remembering. Clouded by everyone who was ever close enough, which is the only way water gets a color at all.